Off of my little carrier deal. So I need to ship the weights. I'm going to ship this way. So certain spec. Let's see here. Yeah, these are 15 millimeters. That one. Just tighten down a little bit more. Okay. Cool, man, cool. All right, boys and girls, let's get some of these bolts torqued down. So let's go over the kind of the torque specs here on the left side mount. So left and right, left, right. Okay, so left side. This bolt here, single bolt, is torqued to 80 Newton meters. I converted that. You multiply 80 by 7370 to give you foot-pounds, and you get roughly 59 on that one. These four here should be tightened in sequence to 34 Newton meters, which equates to 25 foot-pounds plus 60 degrees. Right side engine mount pad, the engine pad to the engine, these two bolts here are 15 millimeter. They need to be torqued to 133 Newton meters, and that translates to 98 foot-pounds roughly. And then the pad to the frame, which is these bolts down here, there's two of them. They should be torqued to 90 Newton meters, which is 66 foot-pounds. So we'll go ahead and do that. Actually, we'll go ahead and torque this one over here first to 59. So we'll go ahead and get that over here to 59. I'm at 45, 55, 45, 50, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. Pretty tight, okay. All right, now we'll torque this guy here. Okay. And then these, the four nuts, I'm not going to quite do those yet, but we'll do the pad to the engine, which is 98 foot-pounds. We could probably do these two down here with this one, but then I'm going to have to step it up to the big puppy. I think I'm probably just going to go ahead and do that anyways. Got the bolts out. We need to put the bracket back on. So let's do that. Let's put this bracket on. Fits in there just awesomely perfect, as usual. There we go. Yeah, it looks a little better than everything around it, but yeah, be alright. It's Loctite. I had to jump ahead a little bit, but see, I got the airbox in. Well, I kind of had to. I had to jump ahead on this. I still got wires to figure out where the heck they go, because I couldn't do that without the air filter in place, this air filter box. So I went ahead and put this in place so that way I could get everything lined up where it needed to go. Because I put it all together and then I went and put the air filter in, this box, and it wasn't lining up at all. So I had to figure that part out. So I think I've just about got everything routed correctly. I've gotten the octopus hose installed. So not much left to go. We're getting there. We've got the fuel vapor line connected, these radiator lines, the upper and lower heater core lines are connected. The fuel line is snapped in. The EGR is connected. So we're getting there. You can see we don't have torque arm mount installed yet. We can rock it around, but all the motor, the two right side, left side engine mounts are torqued to spec, so they're good to go. So we're gonna continue running this wiring mess here, get all this in place, and then I gotta run this negative positive wire back up through here, however it goes, and then secure all the screws of where everything goes, and then we can probably work on getting the subframe, the cradle, back underneath this car. Once I get the cradle back in, I gotta start kind of working on the front end and get the crash bumper absorber reinstalled. I just wanted to show you this real quick. This is pretty interesting. These are the crossover pipes that run underneath the engine of the T5, Volvo S40, C30, V50, all those cars. And look what I noticed. So this is a front wheel drive crossover pipe, and this is the all-wheel drive crossover pipe. Check out the different layout of them. That's a pretty significant difference between them. Pretty freaking significant. I actually was trying to fit this one up because it was in here and this one was over on my shelf outside, and I was like, yeah, I'll just put this one on. Started fitting it up and it was hitting. It did not clearance around the front differential. So I had to go get this guy. So now I can actually fit that crossover pipe in. I'm doing some of the stuff right now that is underneath here that I can't really cover that well with a camera. So so just bear with me. Well, I'll get through this under stuff. I may do like part of this time lapse. I may add time lapse for like the cradle assembly, because that's probably a significant part. But I've gotten the drive shaft installed, the exhaust is installed right now, and I've got both of those little cross members, which was a little tricky, but I got those in and torqued down. So now I'm just working on some other stuff, like these pipes right here are actually, I think, a lot easier to do with the cradle out. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that in and bolt that down, and anything else I can think of that needs to be done prior to the cradle going back in, and finish those up, and then I'll start on the cradle. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Oh, and the other deal was the cradle itself. So this unit right here is the front wheel drive cradle, and this is the all-wheel drive cradle. There are very, 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 very small differences between these two. The cradle itself is actually the same, but the bushings are not. If you look here at the difference between this one and that one, check out how much higher the all-wheel drive unit is than the front-wheel drive unit. The front-wheel drive unit actually sits lower to the ground than the all-wheel drive unit. The all-wheel drive unit has some ground clearance, along with this bushing as well. Check out this one versus that one right there. That's a pretty significant difference between bushings, for sure. Everything else seems to be mostly the same between the front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive cradles, front cradles. Oh, the power steering unit right here is actually different. There's two different units. There's one for all-wheel drive and one for front-wheel drive, and the difference is the all-wheel drive unit, which I'm actually going to install the front-wheel drive unit. One, because it has 109,000 miles, and that one over there has 223,000 miles on it. But the second thing is, I guess the reason why you would not want to do that is what I researched and found is that the front-wheel drive unit actually has a tighter turning radius, and with the all-wheel drive unit, they put some stops in there to keep you from turning too sharp, and so the turning radius is like a foot larger than the front-wheel drive S40. So I'm not sure, I couldn't really find out if it was for safety or if it was actually something to do with having the angle gear installed. Like maybe it bound up too much with the control arms or something. But I'm not one to sit there and hold my steering wheel all the way lock for a long period of time. So I'm really interested to see what it's going to happen. So I'm actually going to try it out with the front wheel drive unit. If it's really bad and some kind of major rubbing issue or something, I may go back and put the, I can actually send this off and have it refurbished still today. So I'll probably send that unit off and get it refurbished if I need it. So I'm going to hang on to it, but the front wheel drive unit, I'm going to try it out and see if it works. And if it works fine and I can't tell anything, any kind of issue or nothing, then I'm just going to leave it.